Hello, dear students. Welcome back to the class. Very good evening. And I think we have been completing with the chapter number 1 of economics. Development we have been completed. Are you getting my voice there? Hello? Am I audible? Am I audible there?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Please respond
Yes, sir.
immediately if you are there in the class. Okay. Did you get it? So can you see the screen over there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So beta, today we are going to start with our first chapter and in fact new book with new book, new chapter. Its chapter name is power sharing. See, power sharing here, it refers actually in this regard or in this chapter, we are going to learn about the organs of government. Now, what are the organs of government? Now, see, is government permanent? You have to respond. Huh? Is government permanent there in the center? No, it is not permanent. Are you getting the point? Yes. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So why are you not responding? Please respond. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now see, as the name is suggesting that the chapter is belonging or is going to describe the sharing of power between the government. Now I said between the government, but in this chapter, the concept and the importance of power sharing in what we are going to study here, importance of power sharing in democracy. Okay, this we are going to see here, as well as this power sharing also belongs or is being distributed between or among, among the organs of the government. Now, what are the organs of the government? There are actually three organs of the government. Which are those? Hmm?
Legislative, executive, and judiciary.
Legislature, executives, and judiciary. These are called the organs of government. Okay, so power has been distributed or power has been shared over there, especially in the democratic country. Okay, among the organs of the government. Okay, as the democracy is prevailed in the country, so only the power would not perform any kind of executions within one hand only. It will be distributed. The power will be distributed. Have you got? 1 second, I'm just coming. Okay. So with imbalance and odd power, suppose there is imbalance in the power. Power is imbalance. Sorry. Power is imbalance and even it is odd. Okay. So this odd power distribution between different levels, actually there it would be, if suppose in the power sharing there would be imbalance and odd situation, so it would lead towards the problems. It would lead toward the problems, okay, as well as lead towards the unfavorable unfavorable tendencies within the nations. Unfavorable tendencies. Why this is called as unfavorable tendencies within the nations? Because unlike other countries which are continuing with the democracy, they would also see the implications in the country where the power is imbalanced and it is running in the odd situations or odd manner. Got it? They would also become very it would also become very difficult for those countries which are actually not having the problems of unfavorable tendencies, of imbalance and odd situations, but still it may arise there. Okay, it can impact this situation, can be impacted or can impact other countries as well. Okay, so in this chapter what we are going to study, we are going to study, or this chapter is going to be explained over here by taking two examples of Belgium as well as of Sri Lanka, how the power is being shared over there and how the things are gone worst over there. Okay, now look at them. First of all, we will learn what power sharing is. Okay, and after that we will go that what the case of Belgium was and what the case of Sri Lanka was. Power sharing. What is power sharing? It can be simply defined as distribution of or sharing of power from a single source. That is a constitution, means single, uniform. Okay, among different organs of government, different segments of society and other stakeholders to accommodate the diversity of the nation or simplify the administration. Why is it important? It is important because the administration of the nation should go hand in hand. Okay, it should be distributed among the segments of society, among the stakeholders, actually the people who are contributing in the GDP. Okay, those their opinions are also important while distributing it. Okay, are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let us understand now what is the case of Belgium. What can you see here? As I will make it broad here. What can you see here? You can see
So
here
it shows that different ethnicities who are living in Belgium.
ethnic composition, definitely. Okay. So, how many people who speak Dutch? Okay. 59% Dutch speaking community living in Flemish region. They are in Belgium. Which is the Flemish region over here? Which is given in yellow color. This one.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Here, 40% of French speaking people live in Wallonia region. See, this is very important distribution that is given over. Wallonia, it is given in red color, as you can see here. Okay, Wallonia, this is Flemish region. 1% among all the population in Belgium, they are German speaking, live in Wallonia region. German speaking. They are German speaking. Look at here. These people only. These people who are here. Okay. In Belgium. And capital city, Brussels. Actually, its capital is Brussels. Okay, Belgium's capital name is Brussels. There are 80% French speaking and 20% Dutch speaking people live together here in Brussels. Okay. So the question may arise over there that how is the ethnic composition of Belgium very complex? See, it is a complex situation there. How is it now? Let us understand. See. So Belgium, it is a country which lies in the European continent. In which continent? European continent. And
European.
it had two major linguistic groups. Actually, two major groups are there. Huh? In Belgium, there are two major groups. First is French, okay, and another is Dutch. Okay, these are two languages prominently spoken there in Belgium. Okay, there arose actually several split tendencies amongst the groups, but with the delegation of equal power as well as maintaining a community government is ensured equal representation. This okay, equal representation here. What made it possible? The community government, the maintenance of community government, okay, and the power, equal power, which is shared over there, okay, in Belgium. Okay, this made it possible to ensure the equal distribution of power in the country called Belgium. This helped actually. What happened over here? How does it help over here? And how did it help here? Okay, let us understand. Actually, this avoid the divisive tendencies. Divisive tendencies means different tendencies. Okay, or the tendencies which actually carry the glitch. Sorry, not glitch, but the glitches about one another. Okay, that kind of tendency amongst these people. So on the other hand, what happened over here? On the other hand, if you see, on the other hand, the insecurity between the Tamil and Sinhala community was not actually catered to well by the Sri Lankan government. See, why is it now mentioned Sri Lanka over here? Sorry. Means, as compared to Belgium, Sri Lankan country is not stable that much, as its government could not make it possible to make the or yes, to make the bridge, okay, among the people where they would live together as without any interference as it happened in Belgium. Okay, the power is being shared proportionately there in Belgium, and that too. Now, why this percentile is given over here for all the French spoken, or I mean Dutch speaking, French speaking, German speaking? Okay, because due to the proportion, due to getting the proportion of the population, then only the power could be shared. Okay, but it is not happening there in Sri Lanka. So favoritism towards the Sinhalese as well as adoption of majoritarian policies engulfed Sri Lanka into a civil war. Which kind of policies? Policies majoritarian. That we will see here. Okay. Majority was there of what community? The majority community was there. That community got the more power, and there the instability, hence the instability was there in Sri Lanka. Still today it happened. Now you might have heard about something about Sri Lanka, that it is going under debt and it has no resources now to meet with the requirement day-to-day life, right? Okay, due to what? Due to the wars like situation, as its total sources and its total treasury is been empty, and now it is facing the dire problems. Okay, bhayanak situations means dire problems it has been facing since some days. Okay, are you getting? Now, did you get how Belgium is it is not actually complicated power sharing there as Sri Lanka? Okay. Now, what are the reasons behind it? There may be the reasons. But what kind of reasons there? In Sri Lanka, what happened there? We will come to there. Okay. But here we'll see reasons of conflict between the French and the Dutch speaking people. Why was there the conflict? Even this country, if it is ethnic composition was done over there, still there was a problem between French and Dutch, as they were the majority community there, majority people there. Okay, so first reason is Belgium got its freedom in 1830, and since then the French speaking community had been politically and socially more dominant in the country. See, what is the reason behind it? First reason is when Belgium got its freedom. When did it got? When did it get? Sorry. It got its independence in 1830, and since that time, the French speaking community had been politically and socially dominating the country. Okay. Second reason is they were more
Sir,
yes, beta.
sir, can you repeat when did Belgium get independence?
It got the freedom, its freedom in 1830, 1830.
Okay, sir.
Another reason why there was a conflict between French and Dutches. They were means who were French. French were more qualified, educated, relatively rich, and socially and politically powerful. Socially, in the sense they were powerful in the society as well, as they were the businessman, they were the business tycoons there. Okay, and they were contributing to the GDP in the country. Okay, that is why. Okay, means French were dominating the country, means from all the fields. Okay, third reason was the Dutch speaking community got the benefit of economic development and education much later. See, as these people were not in the majority there in Belgium, they came later or they stayed back there. Okay, after many years they got the economic development, in the sense they started to involve themselves into the economic stream of the country, okay, of Belgium. And even they were not getting the education, means they got the education rights much later, means they took a lot of time to get it. Okay, fourth reason why there was a conflict between the French and Dutch is this gap of prosperity and development created tensions. This gap of prosperity, in the sense, as when Belgium got its freedom, then who were in dominating nature? French, as they were the natives over there. If suppose means they thought that they were a native of that, and that is why they were leading the society, but Dutch were not. So this gap means prosperity, in the sense they were flourished, as Dutch had got the rights much later. That is why this much gap, that there was a widened gap between their education, their qualification, their prosperity, their richness. Okay, all these things were all these things had a widened gap over there. Okay, and development created tensions between the two communities during 1950s and 60s. See, when did it get its freedom? It gets its freedom in 1830, but the conflict was arise there between 1950 and 1960. Another reason, and the foremost reason there, this tension was more visible and more acute in Brussels, as Brussels is the capital of Belgium, where the country-wise majority Dutch-speaking community was in minority. Actually, in Brussels, the French people were in majority, but the Dutch-speaking people were in minority. And From where the power was distributed, it was definitely distributed from the capital city, Brussels. Have you got it? Have you got
Yes,
it?
sir.
Huh. Now, policy of accommodation in Belgium. What was the policy there in Belgium to accommodate the people? Now, many people were living together. See, we are studying about the power sharing. Okay. Now, we had to see if how many people who were belonging to other country, other language, okay, or other nationalism, who they were settled over there, okay, in Belgium. Now their accommodation policy, what kind of policies were given them? So the first of all, Belgium constitution was amended 4 times between 1970 and 1993. How many times it was amended? Amend means what?
Change.
To join, okay, to join something, to add on something. Understood? To accommodate the regional
Yes, sir.
differences, to accommodate the regional differences, not regional differences were arise there between among French, Dutch, German, okay, and cultural diversity, as the people were belonging to different language, their culture would have been different, okay, even their way of leading life was different, so all this should be accommodated at one place, okay. This was the motive behind the amendment for 4 times there in Belgium. Okay, have you got it? It was done so to keep the country united and check any division on linguistic basis. Why was it kept like accommodation of regional differences and cultural diversities, so that the country would become one, okay, country would not be diversified, it would not be split over there, it would not split over there, only because the other language speaking people are living there, okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The Belgium model of accommodation is unique and innovative. Like this model, whatever the model was prepared over there in the country of Belgium, this is this was an innovative as well as a unique one, as many of the countries followed that. It comprises 3 types of government: central government, that is federal government, state government, and community government, where we can say the in India, we can categorize it as Panchayati Raj. Which Raj? Panchayati Raj. Actually, it belongs to the lower level of government, and that is village level government. Did you get it? Understood? I told you this about India, but in Belgium there were 3 types of government, and those were central government, state government, and the community government. Have you got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now listen. What is central government now? If we just entered into it, that how many types of the government are there, so let us understand what central government is, what state government is, and even community government is, okay. We are studying especially about Belgium. The number of ministers from French speaking and Dutch speaking community are equal in number. What kind of power would be shared over there? That in central government there would be same number or same members from French as well as from Dutch speaking community. It looks after the entire nation and has the powers over the matters of national importance like defense, foreign policies, etc. See, though the power is being shared, now the power is not being shared. Actually, the power is being shared between the central, the state, and the community government. But here in Belgium, we can see that in central government as well, there is a distribution of power, and that is running very peacefully. As all the members, they take charge as the defense, foreign policies, they take major decisions for the country. Okay, actually, they are running the country in a very good way. Okay. Another government is state government. Both the Flemish and the Walloon region have their regional governments. What are the Flemish? Flemish region, you can see here, which is the Flemish region, which is given in yellow. And this Walloon French, that is given in red. Okay. They are having their separate state government powers. Means whatever the power is implemented here, so these many states are involved in that. See, but Brussels is different from it. Brussels is different from it. Okay, it is not involved in that Flemish region and even in the Walloon region. Got it? Okay, Wallonia.
Yes, sir.
So these are the states of Belgium, and they are having their different state government policies. Okay. So French means they are having their own regional governments. And we have no, we did not learn. Actually, I taught the last batch. Okay. 1 second, beta. There is one student who is unable to join the class. Let me share the link. Now, here we are now. Okay, so state governments are present over there in Flemish and Wallonia region. These state governments are not subordinate to the central government. They are not subordinate. Actually, their policies are different. Central government's policies are different, and state government's policies are different. And that is why it is said that it is not subordinate to the central government. Okay, okay, means it cannot replace the central government's policies or powers. Got it? What cannot replace the powers of central government? State government cannot replace the power. Okay, or cannot even change. The state governments have power over matters relating to agriculture, transport, education, etc. These these powers or these matters are also taken care by the central government, but at the state level, the state government has to take care of all of this. Okay, many of the policies they have to implement it. Okay, they have to look after the transport facilities, education facility, agriculture, and lots of things are there. Okay, forest, defense, but forest and defense are the powers or matters which are looking after by both central government and state government. Okay, that is not a matter or of single power or single government. Understood? Have you got it better now? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
See,
Yes, sir.
there in Belgium, Brussels government is also made over there. Like in the central government, the number of ministers from the French and the Dutch speaking communities are equal. the majority of the French-speaking community accepted this equal representation in Brussels, because the majority Dutch-speaking community in the country accepted equal representation of the French-speaking community in the central government. See, there was adoption. What was there? Adoption by both the language speakers, as they did not fight upon it. They did not get themselves into the war. Otherwise, there could have a big war between both the French and the Dutch. But they were agreed upon what? Upon the power sharing, so that there would be no imbalance and odd like situation would be created in the country. Understood? As it is happening right now, as well as we are means just whenever you are surfing the new channels in the on the television, you will see there that there is only news of Russia and Ukraine, the war like situation, like not war like, but the war is continue there. Understood? Why is it so? Because both the powers are not ready to take their legs back. Okay, they want to have their powers upon that particular reason, as Russia want to have Ukraine as their territory, its territory, and Ukraine says that it was separated from Russia since many years. Okay, so it would be a separate state or separate country now. Okay, they would not surrender and they would not let Russia to impose the military power or any other power there. Understood? Have you got it? So here in Brussels government, actually both the members, who are the members now in Brussels? The members from French community as well as the Dutch community, they are they have adopted the things upon which they have to work together. Got it? So that there would be no imbalance and there would be no complications among both. Another government is their community government. See, the Dutch, the French, and the German speaking people elect their community government as well. In all, there are 3 community governments. The community governments have powers regarding culture, education, and language related matters. Means, though the power is being shared between Dutch, French, okay, still they belong to different culture, they belong to different tradition. Okay, so they have their own government. That government is known as community government, and that government can implement the different laws, different traditional way of leading life in the country. Those are put by the community government. Have you got it? Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, means here all the powers have their own government. Try to understand this thing. We have come from central government to state government to Brussels government, and at last we saw about community government. So can you tell what did we learn from here? What is central government there? As in a very short, I will tell you. There in central government, both French and Dutch members are involved, and they do not have any complications among themselves, and they run the country very properly, and they have the decision making process also they are having very clear. Okay, as they can take decision upon defense, foreign policies, agriculture, education, and all. Okay, state government means this is how the states are being divided, like Flemish region and this Wallonia region. Okay, they do not interfere into each other's policies. Okay, how do they want, means how they want to run the states, they run, okay, upon their own decisions. Another government is Brussels government, where definitely who are there, only two language speaking, French and Dutch, both are there. Okay, and they are, means they have accepted equal representation there. Okay, French have accepted the Dutch representation and Dutch have accepted the French representation. Community government, though these French, Dutch, German, those people are running the country properly, even for their own cultural remedies, their own education, their way of tradition. For all these matters, they are having separate government, and that government is known as community government. As Dutch is having different or separate government, community government, French is having the separate community government, and German is having different or yes, different community government to look after their traditional ways, okay, or traditional matters. Have you got the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the success of the policy of accommodation? Now it has helped avoid civic strife between the two major communities of Belgium. What are the major communities? They are French and Dutch. Means there were no complications among both. This helped a lot to the Belgium government. Another thing, it has checked any division of the country on linguistic lines. Means though they are different from each other on the basis of language, still they are unite. They do not compromise on the countries means whatever the problems occur over there, they do not compromise upon that. Okay, though they are different from each other in matter of language. Belgium was chosen the headquarters of the European Union formed in 1993. Okay, Belgium is having the European Union headquarter there from, oh sorry, since 1993. Got it? Means the people are actually believing upon the government of Belgium, as it is running very properly. It is running the country very properly. Have you got the point?
Yes, sir.
Now let us come. But before that, why is power sharing desirable? It will say here. Hmm? That also we are going to study, but let us understand first of all what happened there in Sri Lanka. Okay, see, everything I'm giving you in detail. Are you getting the point? Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes,
there
sir.
should be no confusion, and if you persist with any confusion, please ask me. Got it? Now, this was the
Yes,
case
sir.
of Belgium, and we saw there that in Belgium the situations were in control due to what? Due to the mutual understanding. In a simple way or language, if we say in a mutual understanding, it was possible for Belgium government. Now what happened in Sri Lanka? The case of Sri Lanka, as it is our neighboring country. Okay, so the major social groups in Sri Lanka, first of all we'll see that how many groups are living there in Sri Lanka. First, Sinhala speakers, they are having majority in the country, and they are actually generating their 74% of majority among the people who are residing there. 74 means speaking Sinhala language actually, and mostly follow Buddhism. What do they follow? Buddhism they follow. Tamil speakers are also living there. Okay, do you know the blast, what happened there in 1991? Okay, there was a blast in Tamil Nadu. Okay, as our prime minister of our country, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, was shot dead over there. Not shot dead, but he was actually assassinated there. Okay, that is another matter. We'll look after that. Okay, sorry, we'll see about that later on. Tamil speakers are there in 18%, native Tamils are 13%, and 5% are Indian Tamils whose forefathers came in Sri Lanka as uh, plantation worker. It is plantation, huh? What is it?
Plantation, sir.
Plantation workers during British Raj. Okay, during colonial period and settled there. They are mostly Hindus or Muslims. These Tamils are especially Hindus and Muslims, okay, who are residing there in Sri Lanka as their forefathers. And they are just comprising the population of 5% in Sri Lanka. Christians, they are living 7% there. They came from both Sinhala and Tamil communities. Okay. Uh, Here I cannot say clearly that they might be means converted from means their religion they might be converted. Okay. I cannot say this. Got it? Got the point? Okay. Now we have got the proportion there. Okay, what is there in Sri Lanka? Okay, now one word is there, and that word is measure. uh, this word is majoritarianism. Means how this major community, these major community like this Sinhala community, how did it take over other communities there? Okay, that we are going to study here. So, policy of majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. The earlier name of Sri Lanka was Ceylon. What was its name? Ceylon. It got freedom in 1948. Unlike Belgium, the Sinhala community leaders adopted majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. They tried to secure dominance over government and force their will on the other communities. This is something called as majoritarianism. Have you got? Means this community, this Sinhala community was in majority there, and it started to dominate the other communities. And even their wills were imposed upon them. Other community peoples means means Sinhala community started to impose their wills, okay, on other communities so that there would be a dominance of this particular community, as it did not happen in Belgium. Okay, so the government adopted series of measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. See, means government itself wanted to have the dominance of Sinhala community or supremacy there in the country. An act in 1956 was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language, disregarding Tamil, as these people were also living there. Okay, Tamil people, Tamil speaking, native Tamils were 13% and 5% of Indian Tamil people, and their language was not given any, means its language had not paid any heed there. Means it was actually put on sideline, and Sinhala became the official language in Sri Lanka. Preferential policies were adopted to give Sinhala applicants university positions and government jobs. Now, preferential policies in the sense what? As Sinhala was the official language, and even that particular community was belonging to Sri Lanka only. Okay, are you getting the point? And that is why
Yes.
they were able to get the government jobs easily. They were able to get the university positions, they were getting education properly, and all the things were happening in their own favor. I mean, in their favor. Provisions were made in constitution to protect and foster Buddhism as state religion. Now its constitution adopted Buddhism as their as their state religion. Here state means
Official religion.
here state means sorry. Okay, state means nation. Okay, state means nation. Okay, don't be confused here. So its constitution made it compulsory to have Buddhism as its state religion. Understood? And suppose any country is imposing any particular religion as its state religion, so that country is not a democratic country. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
That is not a democratic country at all. Means that country would definitely belong to that particular religion, and it would, the rituals, the traditions, the adoptions, whatever would be taking place there, those would be happening there through that particular religion only. Now what the Tamils felt over there, actually the Tamils, they demanded for a separate uh, uh, element of their own element, in the sense constitution they wanted to have, separate constitution they wanted to have. Thus they create it created a wave of heightened insecurity and inequality in the country. Here, due to this, what happened, what it led over there, it created insecurity and inequality. Both the feelings had come to whom? Tamils. Understood? Definitely. As we see in Pakistan, their Hindus are in very dangerous situation, as they are minority there. Okay, minority community there in Pakistan, as Pakistan fully is a Muslim community. So the Hindus who are residing there in Pakistan, they are also suffering through such problems. Okay, means whatever the country, not only Pakistan but other countries in the world, if they are having the majority community, so that community always try to dominate the other community people. Have you got it? Understood? Now
Yes, sir.
the feeling of alienation among Tamils. Alienation means to be combined. Okay, to come together. That is alienation. The majoritarian measures taken by the Sinhala-dominated government increased the feeling of alienation among Sri Lankan Tamils. Alienation, they wanted to come together. Means which Tamils? Those who were native over there and those who were not native from Sri Lanka. They were from India. So Tamil felt that none of Sinhala dominated major political parties was sensitive or pathetic to Tamil language and culture. Means that Sinhala dominated major political party, they were not actually paying any heed to the Tamil people, and they were not respecting Tamil language as well, as they already had made Sinhala language as their official language. Okay, they were not pathetic, in the sense they were not having sense of respect. Okay, another thing, they also felt, they means who? Tamil also felt that constitution and the government policies discriminated against them in favor of Sinhala people. Definitely it is obvious there, as this constitution actually protect the Sinhala community and even fostered Buddhism as their state religion. So where are Tamils? As Tamil, they were belonging to Hindu religion, isn't it? Means they were sidelines again. Understood? So they felt such
Yes, sir.
this feeling, they occurred there. After that, they were denied equal political rights, no equal opportunities in getting jobs, and their interests were ignored. Means whatever was happening with Sinhala community people, they were getting university jobs, they were getting university positions, government jobs, as they were native from there and they were in majority. Okay, that kind of things were not happening with the Tamil people. Insecurity they felt. Inequality they felt over there. The Sri Lankan government was practicing religious discrimination. It is obvious. It was actually practicing a religious discrimination, as it should not happen in any country. Okay. This feeling alienation strained relations between the Sinhala and Tamil communities. Strain means what? Gap. Okay. They tightened there. Are you getting the point? They tightened there. One second. This hello.
Yes, sir.
The government was playing the game over there, that it was clearly playing the discrimination game over there between Sinhalas and Tamils. Okay. Now the gap was widened there between the Sinhalas and the Tamil community people. Okay, as they did not want to come together. What is the consequence of this now? What were the consequences of majoritarianism? Organization of Tamils and their demands. Now it led towards that the Tamil forcefully made the organization for their rights. They demanded their rights. Okay, as they were also the citizen of that particular country, Sri Lanka country. Okay. So Sri Lankan Tamils started organizing them by launching parties, and several political organizations were formed by 1980s. Their demands were like follows. What kind of demands were there? Yes, definitely. Suppose some powerful person is doing something wrong against you. So definitely, even if you are in minority, you would just open the march against it, against that dominating religion or community, whatever, and you would demand for your own rights. Are you getting the point? As such thing happened there in Sri Lanka as well. The Tamil people started to organize their own parties. They launched the political parties and they started to demand for their rights. Okay. So what is the first demand? Recognition of Tamil as official language. First demand was there. Equal opportunities for Tamils in government jobs and educational institutions. This was another demand. Regional autonomy in provinces dominated by Tamils. Regional province autonomy means what? That suppose this is a country where one portion, this is a country, okay, their one portion should be given as their region, and there would be only Tamils and their provinces. That province would belong to Tamils only. Okay, it would be Tamil dominated province. Autonomy should be there. Means no Sinhala would interfere in that. Okay. By 1980s, the demand for independent Tamil state increased in the north and eastern part of Sri Lanka. When? During 1980s. Ultimately, the distrust between the two communities led to conflicts and finally turned into a civil war. See, inside that country only, the civil war took place only because of the dominating nature of the majority community. Okay, so someone's here clearly we can say that there is a political disturbance. Political disturbance is there in Sri Lanka, where the Sinhala community does not want to be taken over by Tamils, and Tamils, they also do not want to be dance like puppet. Okay, dance like puppet, to work like puppet. Okay, there in that country. Okay, on the fingertips of Sinhalas. Did you get? So, what is the civil war? Civil war was started in 1983 to 2009. See, LTTE, that is Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam. Elam means state. Okay, was the most furious of the Tamil political organizations. It was the furious Tamil political organization there in Sri Lanka. It was not moderate, it was radical. Okay, the civil war killed thousands of people of both the communities. Many left the country. These, what are these? These are the consequences of civil war. Are you getting? Many of the people left the country as refugees and many lost their livelihoods. The war proved as a terrible setback to the social, cultural, and economic life of the country. Means it was totally changed there. Even Sinalas were not able to run their own culture, economic life, and social activities there properly. Got it? The war ended in 2009 with the killing of LTTE leader Prabhakaran. It was ended there. Okay, when Prabhakaran was killed over there. Understood? Have you got the point, beta?
Yes, sir.
Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you get it now? All the things that were whatever we have learned till now? Huh?
Yes, sir.
See, today we have seen only the difference in the two countries, between the two countries, that is Belgium and Sri Lanka. How Belgium is a successful country to be run, okay, by many religious and many language speaking people like Dutch, French, German. Okay, these people are living together, but still there is no situation like civil war and all. Okay, but and even the proper way of administration is established over there. Got it? Like central government, state government, well, Bristol government, and community government. But as we saw about Sri Lanka, so Sri Lankan people or Sri Lankan government is not stable government. It wants to have the domination upon the minority people, and that is leading towards the destruction of the country. Okay, day by day. Have you got it, beta? All the things would be shared there in WhatsApp. You will get it definitely there, but after the completion of this chapter. Okay.
So, did you post economics notes, like in the sense this PPT?
Okay, that you did not get over there.
Yes, and even recordings I didn't get, sir. And sir, if we